Clarify for me exactly.
Both the inmates and the hostages are in excellent condition. They have many minor injuries, but nothing serious. Nobody is suffering.
What kind of injuries, what kind of wounds do they have?
Bumps and bruises, minor cuts. A couple have possible fractures of their arms, but not serious.
How are the hostages being treated?
Extremely well. The inmates seem to be very solicitous and are taking good care of them.
One of the demands that the inmates have brought out is the fact that they are fearful of retaliation and reprisals from the administration of the staff at correctional services and at the facility. And although Commissioner Oswald has assured them that such will not be the case, and did in fact this afternoon, as some of you already know, put this agreement in writing, they still are fearful that they must have an additional safeguard in the form of a federal court injunction. We have drawn up an agreement which Commissioner Oswald has discussed with Judge Curtin, and the agreement is now en route to Judge Curtin for signing, or for possible signing by him after he reads the agreement.
We had a job to do, and we did it, and we resisted, and those that resisted, there was proper police action taken.
But how did you go about it? Did you crash through the gates, or what happened?
There's barricades that they involved, and we had men to remove barricades and bypass the barricades and get past Times Square and get to the hostages.
Did you have to pick the barricades apart, or did you
Yes.
jump over them and push them?
They were taken apart.
Were inmates given a chance to surrender?
Yes. We told to lay down, surrender. They wouldn't be harmed.
Did anybody surrender?
Sure, the great majority of them laid down.
The prisoners told us yesterday when we were inside they would kill everyone if there was a show of force, all of the hostages, and they would die themselves. And I am absolutely convinced they mean every word of it. And they will also say that they will do nothing to any hostage or in any violent way if the status quo remains. They want to continue to talk. If they go in there, it's going to be a massacre in this prison, and it's on the heads of the authorities if it takes place.
If you will, please.
What is going on? What are you going to do now?
We don't know. All I know, I was meeting with people in Buffalo. Huh? Santa? Okay. Can you hurry it up, though? Yeah. What was your question again?
Now, my question again is, what exactly is going on? What are you planning to do?
Well, all we're hoping for is to gain time. That's all we've asked. We've asked the superintendent and the commissioner and the governor to give time. The prisoners, when I was in yesterday, told us that we're convinced they mean every word.
Well, is Governor Rockefeller going to come here? Will he consider doing that? Do you think he should come here?
He should come. His refusal to come here is a monstrosity, because what he is saying is kill these men. I have no concern. All I want to do is restore law and order, and I think that's a rotten exchange for lives.
Nevertheless, Mr. Counselor, you've just said that you do believe that force will be used and that madness will prevail.
I said I thought force would be used, that madness would prevail, that the pressures on the commissioner are becoming overwhelming in his terms. I'm only hoping that the one man that could stop all this now, who is the governor of this state, acts before it's too late.
There are no black, I have not seen any black guards or black state troopers. Wouldn't that help the situation since most of the inmates are black?
Don't you know there are almost no black troopers and there are virtually no black guards in the state prison system? I better go in.
Thank you.
Roll! Let me have that.
Go ahead, roll it.
Roll it, Elliot. Roll it. Lynn's right behind you. Okay, I'm all right. Okay, thanks. Into the prison.
Off to the side, if you will, please. Over behind the ropes. Over behind the ropes.
Mr. Consular, why are they not letting you in?
I don't know.
Why are they
They're
not letting
using
you in?
force now, that's why.
What did the guard tell you?
He said he had just received orders that no one but uniformed personnel would be permitted in.
Why do you think that they're not letting you in, Mr. Consular?
I think they're killing people.
Well, the whole group kept saying, we're going to kill you pigs, we're going to kill you pigs. When it starts, we're going to die first. And we have known this since we were captured on Thursday. That if anything really happened, that we were written off the books, we were going to die. This, when you go to work for the Department of Correction, that was one of the rules. Any captives are written off as no orders are being valid and no orders to be followed from captives. And if worst comes to worst, you can write yourself as off.
But when you were finally faced with it, I mean, did you still have that same high kind of an attitude?
Yes, I've always been that way. As you see, I'm not too shaken by the whole event, and I had faith that either I was going to be home with my family or I would not be alive, one or the other. The situation.
Did anyone pray?
I mean, among my group, no doubt, all of us did, no doubt.
Did you?
To myself, yes, sir. That's why I think gives me the faith not to be too frightened by the whole thing. My captain, who was right next to me, he's Roman Catholic. I am not. I'm Presbyterian. In our own way, we prayed, I think, each to ourselves. And he came through it safely, too. They offered us a Muslim minister to say prayers for us, but we just stood there facing the east, and I don't believe any of the officers asked to have the Muslim minister say prayers for them. I think each took care of his own prayer.
What are your thoughts now that it's over for you?
I'm going back again. There's work to be done. And if I don't go back, who's going to do it? You know, I have a better understanding of their problem because I lived with them for 4 days. And I feel that I should go back and try to help them.
What stopped him from stabbing me somehow in the back, I'll never know, unless when that first bullet hit, he wasn't as brave as he thought he was. That was the only thing I could see, and somehow he panicked.
That's got to be a smile of relief on your face. It's got to be.
Well, you can't believe it. You can't believe you're alive. I mean, right then, when I looked up, because I had pushed the blindfolds off, but I couldn't see, you know, because when you're struggling like this, well, it's your life and you figure you're dead. When I looked up and see this guy over me, I can't die now, you know. I got to do something now. I got to let him kill me here now. And like I say, then, well, of course, then it's just a wonderful feeling to realize that you've actually lived through this thing. Because really, right down deep, I guess from the day I got there, I didn't really expect I was going to.
What do you say? Oh, well, it's sure wonderful to be home, honey. Betty and I both missed you so much. We'll laugh if we can.
Mrs. Miller, an obvious and unfortunately necessary question. What are your thoughts now that it's all over?
Well, I think it's probably the longest minutes that I ever lived with me and my family. And I think it's probably, now that it's all over with, that if I'd have had it to do over again, we probably would have done something rather than had Ed working there. Because, I mean, I think what it does to your family, now that it's over, we're lucky, but there are a lot of people who are very unlucky, and we feel for them.
Gas so heavy that those outside
We couldn't see.
The prison wall.
When the first bullets came in, you knew that there was an assault. What happened to you?
Well, I just when the first bullets hit, or the first noise I heard anyway, I just managed to get my hand out of the ties, because then, well, I don't know really. I got a hold of the guy anyway somewhere, and I managed to throw him down. And the next thing I knew, I looked up, and of course he was still on top of me, and of course then they got gas coming in or everything, and you hear all these things hitting the ground, so you don't dare get up. And finally it stopped. So he said, well, I'll get up with you, because in the meantime he'd been calling for help. Where I got all my strength from, I don't know.
You actually struggled with him, and you made it.
So when he hit me on the head, I don't remember. And then I managed to get the club away from him. Well, I relaxed a little bit, I guess, and he yanked it back. So then I must have kicked him in the head and realized that my feet were still tied. So I got the club again, and I kicked my shoes off. So I get my feet out, and the next thing I looked up, why, I had him on the ground anyway with a club.
The decision, of course, I think is based on many elements, not just Attica prison. I think the issue here transcends the incident here with the hostages and the position that was taken by some of the inmates of this particular institution. You were talking about something that the state, the nation, in fact, probably the whole world has been looking at to see if our Department of Correction, if our penal institution is going to be able to sustain itself in our 1971 society.
You think he had to assault D Block then?
I think in the ultimate it was a decision that was made for the entire benefit of society in general and the people and those people who would flaunt our laws. I think that was one of the primary considerations. In addition, it appears that and as the time progressed, the prisoners were making more preparations. They were setting up more defenses, which would have made it eventually much more difficult to release any of the prisoners.